Well, y'all, we got done eating. Everything was absolutely, completely, and totally delicious. We got the fire stoked back up. Got it going pretty good. Got all of our food stuff and everything stored back in our cooler. So, we were sitting here talking and figured we might tell some old camping stories for you guys. I don't know if y'all like this kind of content or whatever, but I like it. It's fun. Caleb, he likes telling old stories and stuff. Josh, too.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one camping story that sticks out in my mind a lot. Now, what I'm about to tell you is probably going to be kind of, I don't know if I'd call it
hard to believe.
Yeah, hard to believe. I wouldn't gonna say controversial. Controversial wouldn't be the correct term for that.
Strange is a fitting simple word for it.
Yeah, a strange encounter.
A very strange, freaky encounter. Now, to preface that, I'm very big into the paranormal. Like, I like all kind of ghost hunting. I like watching ghost hunting shows. I like anything to do with Bigfoot because Bigfoot is real. I care not what nobody says. Anyway, but this story was one of the few times that I last went camping, and this was over 20 years ago. I'm 31, and my dad and I and my uncle and my cousins, we used to go camping all the time when I was younger. I'd say I was probably, I don't know, 8, 9 years old. I was still a young feller. And my cousin, he's a few years older than me. But he was he'd get scared real easy. I don't want to sound like I'm picking on him, but he would get scared real. Yeah, he was extremely jumpy. Well, we were camping back in South Carolina, where I'm from, at a old family piece of property that my great uncle owned before he died. And we had the big fire going and everything. Well, somehow the food that we had that we were going to cook over the fire managed to get ruined. I can't remember exactly how it got ruined, but all I know is it did. And I don't know, a good ways down the road, probably, 10, 15 minutes down the road, was a Mickey D's, was a McDonald's. So my dad and my uncle decided they were going to go to McDonald's and go get us a bunch of burgers and fries and drinks and stuff like that, and they were going to come back. Well, me and my cousin, I won't mention his name for reasons, but so me and my cousin, we decided to stay back at the camp. And we were deer hunting that weekend also. It was insanely cold that weekend. I want to say it was down in the teens during the day and close to single digits at night. So it was really cold, but I enjoy cold weather camping more than I do hot weather camping. Don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying what we're doing right now, but I prefer cold weather camping. But anyway, so we're sitting around our gigantic freaking campfire, like it's stupid huge. We're constantly sitting there piling wood on top of it, trying to get it bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, I started hearing noises off in the woods. So I took my big spotlight, and there was eyes everywhere. We had gotten surrounded by a pack of coyotes. So, needless to say, we got kind of freaked out a little bit. And so me and my cousin, we jumped in the tent, and my dad had left his pistol, so I grabbed it, and I'm sitting there, 38 special revolver pointed at the door to the opening of the tent. And between the door of the tent, I'd say, well, I wouldn't say between, but about a good 10 or 15 feet away from the front of the tent, the front entrance of the tent, was our campfire. So I could see it through the opening of the tent. And then I started seeing coyotes walking in between the tent and the fire. I'm like, oh crap, okay. But then the creepiest, freakiest thing happened. Y'all can believe this or not. I know this to be truth because I saw it with my own two eyes. And a coyote stopped in between the front of the tent and the fire And next thing I know, this sucker stands up and takes the shape of a man. Y'all, if I'm lying, I'm crying, and I ain't shed a tear. And then I know there was a bunch of Indian lore that my great uncle would tell me all the time about, Native American lore that he would tell me about what was going on the property. Somewhere on this piece of property was a really big Cherokee Native American burial ground. And I know that the Cherokee, they were big into, like, I don't know if you would call them the dog soldiers. I don't know if you'd call them the crazy dogs. I don't know exactly what you would call them. But they say it's kind of like skinwalkers, but they're not evil spirits. They're like more protectors of the land, of the animals, and of the people, and all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, I decide I'm gonna get brave, and I'm gonna open up the tent, and I'm gonna look outside to see if what I'm seeing is actually what I'm seeing. And sure enough, stood in front of me was about a 6 foot tall Indian brave, full war dress, war paint all over his face and everything. And he said some things to me. I don't want to bring that up because that's, I don't know, because it's too hard to believe what this Indian brave said to me. And then here come the headlights of my dad's truck around the corner, and they all took off. They were all just gone. They were gone as quickly as they got there. Yeah, that's probably about the weirdest thing I have ever witnessed while I've been camping. And, you know, I've told a few people my story, and, you know, of course they don't believe it, but
that is hard to believe.
It is hard to believe. I mean, I give them that. I give you that. Yes, that is very hard to believe. But I know what I saw.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a bunch of people out there that, you know, that would support it. Like, hey, you did see something that's special. You know, you need to cherish that and all that kind of good stuff. And I do. I feel like that was a special moment in my life. But it was also friggin' weird.
Yes.
Now, my cousin, God bless his soul, he is freaking out, dude. I mean, it's the funniest crap you ever see in your freaking life. This dude, I'm telling you, he's 2 or 3 years older than me at the time. I mean, he's still 2 or 3 years older than me now, but he is freaking out. He's crawled up in his sleeping bag in a ball, and he is crying his friggin' head off. And I'm like, dude, chill out. They're gone. He's like, huh? Yeah. And here comes Pops and my uncle with McDonald's.
With McDonald's.
Yeah. I really wanted whatever it was that we had that got ruined a lot more than I wanted McDonald's at the time. Which is saying something, because, I mean, I'm a big dude and I love McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
But, so, that's my interesting, weird camping story. Caleb, you got anything?
There's only been a few times I've ever been camping. One I can remember that was just... Here, you want me to shine the light on myself? One I can remember that was just... It was a trip that really sucked. I've never had, you know, no paranormal or experiences like, you know, Mike has, but... I remember we went camping, me and Daddy. It was... I think we checked the weather, and it was supposed to be, you know, dry for a couple days.
You can turn your phone light off, by the way.
That's why we decided to go camping. And so we went camping. Come up here to this exact spot, actually. Now, actually, the tent was right over there where the Tahoe is.
You can't see it because it's complete darkness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can see the license plate if I shine my light on it.
But, so it was supposed to be dry, so we were like, heck yeah, let's go camping. So we went. We come up here, cooked us some little something. And woke up. Well, we went to bed. You know, I don't think there was a cloud in the sky. It was a real clear night. We woke up to about 1.5 inches of water in the bottom of the tent.
Good night of living.
Well, it wasn't about that much. It was about 1 inch. Or a half inch.
That's still a lot.
Well, a half inch of water. Here I go, just making it less and less. There was, the tent was flooded, needless to say. We were like, what in the heck? All of my clothes were wet, because I took them all off and stuck them underneath the cot. All of my clothes were wet. Everything I had on was wet. And me and Daddy were like, what are we going to do? Or I was like, what are we gonna do? He's like, well, we can't stay in the tent. We'll just get wetter and wetter, and it just sucked. So we had to jerk our clothes on, our wet clothes on, run over and sit in the truck until it quit raining. And it never did quit raining. We ended up having to just pack our stuff up in the rain and leave and go get breakfast.
There's stuff falling out of the trees.
Limbs falling out of trees left
That's
and right.
definitely a branch because I heard it way up.
Yeah. And then the time before that, we come up here to this spot where the tent's setting now. And there was a big log here at the time. I can't remember if Dad brought that up here or if it was already here. But everything was fine. You know, we got the
Fire's hissing.
something's walking. I hear it.
Story time's over, I guess.